Today we're talking about Andor on Disney Plus.
Yes. Okay. So I forgot the show was happening.
I didn't even know.
I remember friends being excited about it, but I was like, oh yeah, another Star Wars show. And I'm going to be honest, and I think Toby will agree with me here. After Obi-Wan, which we did not like, we were like not going to watch the show. And then I'm like, we need something for the episode for the podcast. We should watch the show.
So, and I truly didn't know until Gino was like, we have to watch Andor. And I was like, what door? Like, what are we watching? Andor something?
Andor what? S'more what?
Right. Like,
killing me, Smalls.
They're like, I don't understand what show we're watching.
Yeah, it's a dumb name, but it's the name of the character.
Right, so it's not a dumb name. It makes sense.
I also forgot it was the name of a character. I could have sworn there was like a planet Andor.
It sounds like
I'm like,
a planet.
it's about a planet in Star Wars. Nope.
It's his last name.
So it's called Andor. It is a Star Wars show. We have to start with the non-spoiler review, because we took out the spoiler review because of Toby's sister. She said, take it out. But now our number one fan said, put it back. And I agree. We're putting it back.
Putting it back.
Toby.
Yeah.
Non-spoiler review. Keep it simple.
Simple. Non-spoiler review. The characters are great. Shocking you to hear me say that. Characters are great. Music is great. Action, great. For better.
Yeah, okay. So like, I guess I could say this in the spoiler review. The non-spoiler review. I like this a lot more than I thought I would. Again, I did not want to watch the show. I don't really fully understand why I like it so much, which we're going to have to talk about in the episode. Hopefully we can figure it out by the end. I don't know if the characters are great. I don't know if I agree there, but there is something. Oh, I'll say this. Typically, the things that we complain about with characters are in this show, but for some reason, they work. We'll talk about it in the non-spoiler.
Okay, because I'm also unclear. If anybody else
they
out
don't
there
seem very interesting or charismatic, but there's something about them.
Wait, I also like that I had to keep mine short, but Gino gets to elaborate on his responses.
Okay. Because you said you don't like non-spoiler reviews. I wasn't saying that for you to keep it short because I didn't want to hear you speak. My lovely, beautiful wife. I was saying that because you usually get nervous with the non-spoiler
I just don't know what to say.
So I was trying to assuage your nerves.
And I did.
If there are things you would like to add.
No.
Okay, that's
I'd
why
like you to shorten it because I want to talk more in depth.
Okay. So there's a lot of stuff in here that I don't typically like and that we don't typically like, but for some reason, putting them all together really works. I did not particularly like Rogue One. And as far as I know, this is the same creative team behind Rogue One.
Am I going to have to look it up now? Are you like sure about that?
Like, I don't even remember Rogue One aside from the Darth Vader scene and the blowing up the Death Star stuff. And the really creepy looking.
Oh, he did a Black Mirror episode.
The
USS Callister one I think that's the one with the guy that looked like Matt Damon.
Okay. Pause. I think the reason why I like this so much is that it feels extremely different than most Star Wars stuff. There's a lot of Star Wars stuff I find really stupid, and almost none of them are in this show. I can't talk more about that until we get to spoilers. So I will say a very surprising for better. Again, this is only episodes 1 through 3. I can see this show going in either way, like after this is going to tank, or either after this is going to get really good. But if you already got Disney Plus, I'd say it's worth the watch. For better for me. Toby, you already said for better?
I already said for better.
Distracted here?
I'm trying to see. I don't see him being a director of
Rogue One. I could have. I mean, like, who's the showrunner? Like, each episode has different directors.
No, he's
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe as far as I was told, it's the same people that did Rogue One.
Hang on, let me see. Rogue One.
Anyway, spoilers now. Toby, stop looking things up or look things up. Rogue One, same people.
Gareth Edwards.
Yeah.
And then writers are Chris Weitz, Tony Gilroy, John Knoll. Whereas for Andor, we have
the same people.
Andor.
God. Okay. So this is great TV.
Content.
So while Toby's looking that up, again, spoilers.
Sorry. Dan Gilroy.
Okay. So it's
Tony Gilroy. So created by, yes.
Okay. So it's similar people.
It's created by similar people, but the directors are different.
Okay. So I didn't hate Rogue One, but I thought it was like boring and whatever. So the idea they're going to make a show about like one of the back,
Right.
like one of the side, not a side character, he is one of the main characters in Rogue One, who I couldn't even tell you his name. And the idea that I would end up liking that show and like actually remember the character, which I don't even remember from Rogue One, is shocking. So yeah, for better for me.
I was also for better.
Yeah. Okay. Spoilers. Okay. So we did write down some notes because we were like having a hard time figuring out like what we were going to talk about with this episode with this stuff. Okay. So I wrote down this. I'm confused as to why I like this show.
Yeah.
So I wrote down the things I did like. Okay. 1, I like the meek, dorky, like Office Space villain.
I wouldn't
played
even-
by
I'll get his name. But I wouldn't even say he's Office Space by Kyle Solar, Cyril Karn.
So Kyle Solar, he plays this like, just like kind of like he works for this corporation that's like a part of the Empire, but not really, which we'll talk about why I like that too. So Andor gets mugged in the beginning of the show. He kills 2 of these office workers, these company men, and now it's this meek guy's job to figure out what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Meek may not also be the right. He's like a rule follower. He's going to the star. He's going to his superior. He's saying, "I really think we need to pursue this," and the superior is like, "No."
I like how you tailored your shirt, or whatever his accent is.
No, it's very so. My thing with him and why I like him as the villain is because he's not a mean villain.
Sorry.
Oh.
I don't know if that was picked up on mic. Somebody playing on my iPad.
So he isn't a mean villain. He's trying to like do justice.
He's just following the rules.
He's following the rules, but they gave him such a quirky personality.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, you're explaining this better than I am.
So like his like commanding officer is like he's saying like we should really pursue this. Commanding officer is like, no, these 2 guys fought the wrong person, like got in a fight, died that way. And it's going to bring up more questions. Why were they at a brothel? Why were they doing this? And then at one point he goes, "Did you modify your suit?" And the guy's like, "Well, yeah.
I did. I put it in here.
I like did it
Yeah, I
different
guess
hem."
maybe that's it. It's not that he's like a boring, meek rule follower. It's that he's like all of those things, but they give him just a little bit of extra like quirkiness.
Right, like he's a little quirky. He goes
That makes him interesting.
Yeah, like he's interesting. Like I want to see him interact with more characters because they also know that he's quirky. Like when they went into the computer and they were like, "Ugh, he's coming. Like he's gonna want more or whatever." I don't know, just the way that other people interact with him.
I guess he's not me. He does yell at his the people working for him.
But I don't think he's mean. I feel like that's him trying to show that he's in control, but he's making up for his like awkwardness. Like I
guess awkward.
Like
more
I
than
don't
meek.
deserve. Like I shouldn't be here in this position, but like this is where I am.
And this is what I'm doing.
Right. Like.
And I'm gonna figure out what happened.
Right. So great villain as opposed to
I don't know about great yet, but like yes, good.
But like as opposed to in Obi-Wan where you have where you have the girl who has that I forgot her name.
Oh, one of the Inquisitors.
One of the Inquisitors.
The third sister.
And she has a great backstory, right? Well, great. All right. You're right. In the sense that
cool that she wants revenge on.
Let me rephrase that. An interesting backstory that is alluded to and barely shown to make her interesting. So she's just mean and murdering people for like the first 5 episodes.
And like there's nothing else about her personality that we see aside from like, I am mean and I am going to cut off your hand and I am looking for Jedis.
Right. Nothing.
Meh. And so she's just like a very one-dimensional villain.
This guy
is like kind of weird.
This guy
kind of quirky.
He's proud of his position.
Yeah, he likes that he's
Yeah, he's like, I modified my suit. Thank you for noticing.
Thank you. Yeah, and like, go find these guys, like right now.
Right, like we need justice. So like
He was very upset at the end of the 3rd episode when they got away. And also I think he was upset with himself because he had to give up some information to them.
Well, he gave up information.
Kill him.
And also 2 guys got murdered. And now we have like, 10 guys got killed from this mission?
He's very upset about that.
Right. And you see it in his face. Like he's not just out there to capture Andor. Like he
really cares about like
justice.
Yeah, and his job and like this company.
So that's already and I think that's why, just not to interrupt.
No, please, because again, I'm confused as to why I like this, and I
Right.
need your help telling me why I like
So
this.
I like it because
I don't care why you
I
like it,
know.
Toby. I need you to tell me why
Right, but
I
you
like
don't
it.
like, but you don't like it for the same reasons that I do.
Okay.
Because I like it that the characters have personality.
Yeah.
And we'll get to this.
Which, like, they don't need to. And, like, other shows would not have given them personality. But, like, this one did. And I appreciate it.
So even in that scene where you have the commanding officer being like, no, we can't go after this guy. It was 2 guys got killed. And he was like very just like charismatic, even though he's like obviously covering up this murder or whatever because he's not going after it. And then he's like, this information seems to be taking you a long time to process. Like he's giving the main villain attitude. Like the writing is just, we were talking about this, like natural. So
everyone feels just real.
Everybody feels real, even in like the small ways. Like we're gonna like character wise, right? There's a bell ringer. Probably only in 5 seconds.
No, it's a separate thing. You're skipping
separate thing. So I'll just leave it at this. The characters each are characters. They're not just people filling a story.
Yeah, and like again, going back to the third sister and even Obi-Wan, they never felt like real people because they're so blah blah blah. But yeah, here everyone, because they have those little quirks or things about them, everyone feels like realer. I like it. I like how you said that.
Right.
Good job, Toby.
Thank you so much.
Helping me out.
Thank
You're on
you.
to the next bullet.
Okay, what is it?
I like that all the other villains, aside from the main guy, because he has an American accent, I like that all the other villains are overly British. Like almost like Monty Python levels of British. And it reminds me of like old Star Wars where they're all overly British. And it reminds me of like I think it's like the teacher in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate, like that just mean, sarcastic teacher in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. So I love it. I love it.
Really upsets me because if you like overly British like villains, I don't know why you don't like Doctor Who.
I know what you're gonna say, but that doesn't count because the good guys are British too.
Everybody's British.
I don't want
the good guys are British in here also.
I'm not watching Matt Smith's season. He looks so weird. I can't with House of Dragon.
Now that you know
I'm sorry, Matt Smith. I know he's objectively handsome, but like I can't.
He does. He has.
Does he have blonde eyebrows in real life?
They're like very light brown. Like it upsets me because I loved Doctor Who so much. Now, don't get me wrong, I do not currently watch it. But
because there's a woman doctor.
That's not
so
why. Honestly, I stopped watching it. The old Scottish guy. I'm so sorry. What was his name?
Oh, so you're sexist and ageist. Peter Capaldi.
Peter Capaldi. I couldn't.
He was great in Suicide Squad.
I know, but I needed, because I was really into the love story between Matt Smith and what's her face. So that exactly. Yeah, I'm boring everyone.
Right.
Anyway.
Sorry. This was the Doctor Who episode of whatever.
Anyway.
So,
yeah,
okay.
British
I
characters.
appreciate how, not just regular amounts of British, just like, especially his boss is very British.
But I need more, but like the fact that there's
like trashy British. I can't explain it.
Yes, you can.
Like not like posh British, like regular British.
Like I'm from the alley and I get bread.
Yeah. And it just makes them feel more like, it's going to sound weird me saying this. It makes them feel more like goofy villains. And I appreciate that. It just makes it more, like you said, everyone has these like quirks.
Yeah.
And it just makes them more interesting than like going back to like even the episode 7 and episode 8 and episode 9 where like all the First Order guys are like, I'm mad and I'm mean and we're the First Order and we're just blah, 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 blah. These guys are like very British. They work for a company.
Right.
Doing their job.
Doing their job. This is who they are. Doing their job.
Is there anything more to add to that?
No.
I just like that they have British accents.
You like that they have British accents. My thing is that there's one American. I'm either going to need more Americans or I'm going to need less Americans.
I guess the main character has an accent. I don't know what.
Mexican.
He's from Mexico?
He's from Mexico.
Okay.
But like, which I love. But like.
Space Mexico? Is that the island that he's from?
Canary.
Okay.
Space Mexico? No.
You say he's from Mexico, but the actor's from Mexico. The character's from Canary.
Yeah. My thing is the fact that he's the only American is like throwing me off.
You mean the main villain?
Bad villain is so American, and he's just like a quirky American.
He's like he's like white bread, like that.
He's
kind
the
of
most
American.
white bread. So I'm gonna need
like a news anchor.
So like I need other Americans, like Andor's friend, the British guy, construction worker or whatever, is so British. Like,
Oh, I didn't even notice. I only noticed the bad guys are British.
no, everybody's British.
Oh.
Everybody's
then I take that away
British.
then. I don't like the show anymore.
Oh, yeah, that was it?
I only
That
like
was
when the
your
bad
thing?
guys are British.
No, everybody's British. That's why the fact that there's one American, I'm like, like,
Did
where
they do that on purpose?
I don't know.
I bet you the actor's British. How much would you bet the actor's British? And like do
Let
an
me
American
look it
accent?
up. His name is Kyle Solar. I don't think so. Oh, you're gonna love this. Though born in Bridgeport, Connecticut,
Oh, yes. That is like exactly where that character.
he's the most Connecticut.
That character is
Yeah.
from Space Bridgeport, Connecticut. I think that's the best way you could put it.
Yeah, he's.
He's from Space Bridgeport, Connecticut. I wish I would have known that when we started.
Oh my God, the most Connecticut.
Yeah. Okay. So that perfectly explains his character. Okay.
Yeah.
Can we go on to the next bullet?
Yes.
I very much appreciate that it's not the Empire. I
Yeah.
am so sick and tired of freaking stormtroopers and Imperial officers. I get that they're a company that's part of the Empire, but just the fact that they have blue uniforms, it's like, whoa,
Well, not
blue
only,
uniforms,
right,
this is crazy.
That's a big difference. And then they also get to have like they have facial expressions. They have a voice.
Without wearing masks.
Right. So like the stormtroopers are all robots. It's like they are army men that
I just want to say for the angry comments we're going to get, they're not actually robots, Toby. They're people.
no,
Just want to
my apologies.
throw that out there.
I mean, they act like robots where their voices are
Right.
like, you go over there, you go over
Like,
there.
they're an army. They're soldiers.
Right. But these guys are also, they're like cops, right? So like, it
Well,
seems
they're
like
they're just regular people who work for.
space law enforcement.
I don't think
seems
no.
like.
I think they're like just some sort of company
Why do they have guns shooting at people then?
because they're like a mean
And
company.
like, and they have
They're like a bad
handcuffs.
company. I don't think
No.
they're like no. I think they're like a. I don't think they are a like police force.
They handcuffed the girl to something.
No, they keep calling themselves like corporations. These are corpos. I think they're just a company that makes something, and that the main dude is like investigating on behalf of the company that he works for.
But they had guns.
yeah, there's companies that have guns.
What company? What company has
If you know
guns?
a company that has guns, I don't know. I'm thinking more like Final Fantasy VII, where like
No,
there's
it
companies
feels
that are
like
bad.
space law enforcement. Maybe not
I don't think they're
police
space
per
law
se.
enforcement. Yeah, but I don't. Yeah.
Then why was it such a big deal that two of them got shot? One of them had a gun.
Because they're bad. They're bad guys. I think if you're a company who works in like the wild part of the space, you wouldn't have like guns and stuff.
Okay, I'm still gonna say they're space law enforcement.
I am gonna look that up, and
Okay.
I'm gonna say that she is wrong.
That's
I'm gonna.
fine. And then we're gonna battle this out.
I think they're just a regular company that happens to have like security.
Okay. Well, anyway,
I just appreciate that it's not the freaking Empire.
right, and I appreciate that they can. Excuse me. Sorry, I ate a bunch of chocolate chips earlier.
Burp ASMR.
And I appreciate that they have a lot. They each have their own personality.
Right, and I think that's facilitated again by the fact that it's not the Empire.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Again, thinking back to Obi-Wan, it's the Empire. It's like, oh god,
So
we
boring.
get it. You're an Imperial officer. You're mean. You're boring. We get it.
Right, and like you are fine, but like you can be quirky.
A lot of these people, especially the side characters in the scenes with the company, they just seem like they're at work. Like, there's just like people at work,
right.
doing their job.
They were
and
even
it's
talking.
more fun that way.
And they were like talking to themselves when they were like looking up his like image. Do you remember there were like three of them at a computer talking?
Yeah.
And they were like looking up his image.
Like your friends at work.
Like your friends at work.
Not like a bunch of weirdos working like that, like
And
are conscripted working for the Empire.
that's good writing. Is like
Yes.
including that in there.
Right. So like I appreciate that it's not the same part. Also, are you using the IMDb app?
Yes.
Like half the page is advertisement. That is insane.
Oh my God. The IMDb
They should be
app
ashamed
is,
of themselves.
No, IMDb app is awful. I prefer
Horrible.
the website, but this is
yeah.
easier.
Oh my God. It's like that whole thing is an advertisement. It's like half the page.
Yeah, I also don't know what I clicked.
Anyway. Okay, now to the part I really appreciate.
Tell us.
There's no dumb Jedi stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Finally. Like, I was so happy with Mandalorian season 1 that there was no stupid Jedi stuff except for like, you know, Baby Yoda obviously had a little bit of the Force, just sprinkled in a little bit there. Then they ruined it. Season 2 was like all Jedi stuff and stupid stuff from the Clone Wars show that I'm not going to watch. I get it. It's good. I don't care. I'm not watching it. This finally seems like it's just they're just in space and it's gritty and there's guns and there's sci-fi and there's ships. And I'm just so happy that we're not just relying on Jedis and Luke Skywalker and lightsabers, and we can have a story that's different. Finally.
I think that's also why I'm enjoying it, is that it's different. I'm not a Star Wars person. Like,
I guess I'm not either.
you are. Stop it.
I don't like the main thing that Star Wars does all the time.
Stop. You're a Star Wars fan.
Fine.
There's nothing we can say about that. But it is such a different story, and it is bringing in different places in space.
Yeah, I think I don't want to say it feels different because it doesn't. What it feels like if your favorite scenes in Star Wars are like the scenes on Tatooine where they go to like the bar and everything's kind of dirty and gross, like if that's your favorite aspect of Star Wars, this show is like that. It's like dirty and grimy and like all the ships feel like they're used and no one is doing backflips.
No, and everybody's...
It feels more real.
It feels more real. There's other things I want to get into, but I feel like that might be a different bullet.
Later in the bullets?
Yeah.
Okay. So I appreciate there's no dumb Jedi stuff. Please, Disney, if Luke Skywalker... he's a kid at this point. He's only like 15. Right. Luke Skywalker. If any of the other stupid Jedi show up, I'm not watching the show anymore. I'll be very upset. Just let the show be... Is that the dog doing things upstairs?
Yeah.
Making noise? Just let it be a space thing. A sci-fi thing. All right, next. I like that the main character is not necessarily a good guy. Because in the first 5 minutes... Oh, you might have to go check. You want to go check on him? It might be like pretty bad. I'm going to keep talking. He kills a guy. And like for the first he goes to a space brothel. Looking for his sister. Weird that he's going there to look. Or did they say it was his sister?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's looking for his sister, another Canary lady. He finds like 2 of these corpo guys. And I'm not just saying corpo because I'm watching the new Cyberpunk show. They call them corpos in Star Wars. I don't know if that's a thing that Cyberpunk ripped off of Star Wars or a thing that Star Wars is ripping off of Cyberpunk. These 2 corpo guys mug him. They go try to go kill him, beat him up. He kills one of them by I think he headbutts him, and one of them dies. So he murders one of them by accident. Okay, cool. That was already kind of shocking. Then the other one is like, hey, you murdered my friend, but don't worry, I'm not going to tell anybody. And he just shoots him in the face. He just kills him. So right off the bat, you're not getting a typical goody-goody hero character. And I just kind of I appreciate that. As someone who is a card-carrying member of Han Shot First Club, right? You know this whole controversy, Toby. If you don't know this controversy, you're not allowed to have a podcast where you talk about Star Wars.
No,
So in the original Star Wars...
I'm upset that I have to hear about it.
Let me refresh your memory. Han Solo shoots the green guy first. Greedo, the green guy.
Okay.
In the bar,
Okay.
right? It's supposed to show that Han Solo's a bad guy, and then he becomes a good guy.
Okay.
George Lucas didn't like that. So through special effects, he changed it so that Greedo, first they shot at the same time, and Han Solo did this weird CGI duck to the side.
Who cares?
I cares, because it ruins the character.
No, I mean who cares that he shot first? Relax.
George Lucas does, and literally the entire internet's a whole big thing. Han shot first. People have T-shirts about it. There's petitions. It's a thing. It was in the 90s. It happened because of the special editions that came out in the 90s.
Okay. So
as someone who is understands how big of a deal Han shot first is, the fact that you're starting off this show that's, I'm assuming, supposed to be about not a good guy, killing a person accidentally and then murdering someone else is to me, okay, this is not a typical Star Wars goody-goody thing where showing you a bad dude, he's not a good guy. And I imagine as the show goes on, he's going to be a good guy. And I like those kinds of stories.
I don't think that the main character...
Muting your microphone. No, you're disagreeing with me. Mute.
I don't disagree that he's not of high moral value.
He murders a guy.
Right, he murders a guy. But I don't think that makes him bad.
Murdering someone?
He didn't mean to murder them.
The first guy he didn't mean to kill. The second guy he murdered.
I'm saying that he's doing what he needed to we know that he does things below the under the table.
I'm not saying he's irredeemable.
Right, but
it's just nice that they're showing him doing a bad thing.
Right. And I think that's fine. I just don't see him having that kind of arc where he becomes like a good guy.
I mean, I wish I remembered his character in Rogue One and remembered if he was a good guy yet. I don't think he was. I think he's a bad guy in Rogue One. Like not like a villain. Like he's like not a good dude in Rogue One.
I don't think he's gonna have something redeem him like that.
So maybe that arc happened in Rogue One and I forgot.
Maybe.
Would have been a good idea to watch that over again.
No.
Oops.
I've never seen it.
I'm just saying I appreciate it because they're showing people in this horrible, gritty world where you kind of have to be a bad person.
Yeah.
And they're letting them be a bad. Again, it makes them feel real.
Right.
Because what would you do in that situation if you were getting mugged and you were worried about getting caught? You're trying to find your sister. Okay, guess I got to kill this guy.
Yeah.
It just makes them feel the characters are acting in natural ways.
Yes.
Whereas like when Han Solo, like CGI dodged that bullet in the special editions and then shot the guy and like waited until he was getting shot at to then shoot Greedo, it doesn't feel something that Han Solo would do.
Yeah.
Han Solo just shooting this guy like Indiana Jones did. Remember in Indiana Jones? The guy busted out the sword.
Do you know what other movie I haven't seen all of?
Indiana Jones just shot him.
Uh-huh.
That feels real. And I appreciate that kind of stuff. So again, we keep going back to that same point.
Yeah.
The characters in this show feel more real than typical Star Wars characters
Which
do.
also helps people that don't care about Star Wars watch this because I don't have to think that, oh, this is Star Wars. I just think it's a show that I'm watching.
I think the reason why I get offended that you call me a Star Wars fan is that I feel like I don't like the same stuff that a typical Star Wars fan does.
Right, but that doesn't mean you don't like
I
Star
appreciate
Wars.
other parts of Star Wars.
Right. No, you like, you're a Star Wars fan. It surprises me every time.
It surprises me every time.
Yeah.
I like Star Wars Battlefront on the PS2. That's the peak of
Star Wars fan.
Okay, we're ready for the next bullet, everybody. We're so much more organized this time. Toby, this is a Toby thing I wrote down because Toby said it.
I did.
Toby likes, and I appreciate it as well, that for Cassian Andor's backstory, instead of just like telling us about it, they are showing us. And instead of showing us over like one big long giant flashback where you'd fall asleep, they're giving us like little nuggets of it. He's like from some sort of planet where he doesn't have technology. Why are you giving me that look?
Because this is my nugget.
So then take over. Control. Just take the
my nugget.
Take the mic.
My nugget, and I need it
You
now.
said that I should be in charge more of the podcast.
And you're doing such a good job.
So, okay, Toby.
Yeah.
Please explain to the audience why you like that.
Okay, thank you so much. I like it because mostly what you
I'm a good host.
A lot of what Gino said. It's nice because you get it broken up. So like you don't get bored. Cause like, okay, you can see their life on Canary, but like I get it. Like they don't have tech. They live off the land. They speak another language. I also at first was confused because they don't put subtitles down for what they say.
We have to rewind, like turn on the subtitles, go back.
To just like double check. Which I enjoy because like you don't need to know exactly what they're saying because they show you. So we see that. We get to see that it was an old mining planet that's obviously shut down. A plane crash. They go over, right? And this is all over a long period of time. His sister's not allowed to come on this mission. She must be too young. Like you see.
He gets like kidnapped by.
But all the way at the end, last part of episode 3, right? He gets taken
by Aunt Petunia.
By Aunt Petunia and her husband.
Yeah.
Which is so just the fact that we get to see that in bits and pieces and learn more about his life without being shoved down our throats.
Right.
Is more interesting.
Yeah, and I definitely think the idea that we don't know what they're saying, it makes it feel different than most like backstory things.
Or like things that are in a different, and like Star Wars, obviously they have people speaking in different languages. So generally they subtitle, which is what I was expecting, right? I guess, or do they? I guess when an alien speaks a different language, it's usually translated in the response, right?
It depends on like, do they want you to know what they're saying or not? If they don't want you to know what they're saying, then no. Like they never translate Chewbacca, what he's saying.
Right.
Han Solo knows, but like we don't know.
Right. So then, and like with Chewie, oh, that's what you said.
Right. I'm saying like we don't.
I'm telling you, when you said that, I heard.
Do you know his full name is Chewbacca?
No, when you said that, I pictured, what's the pizza one looking?
Pizza the Hut?
No, Jabba the Hutt. I pictured Jabba the Hutt when you said that.
I think Jabba the Hutt, they do translate what he says.
I think they also translate too. Right, but with Chewie, they don't.
Yeah.
So it's like, it depends. So for this, I was like, Oh, okay. Maybe
Yeah.
so it was like nice.
I was getting some, you don't know this either. I was getting some Horizon Zero Dawn vibes where you have like modern technology, but like how am I trying to say this? Like hunter-gatherer kind of group of people doing like hunting and stuff. So I was getting a lot of those vibes, and I like Horizon Zero Dawn. We make a good movie, Sony. Do it. Anyway, Toby.
Anyway, so that was that.
Okay, next.
Yeah.
Toby thinks his friend, whose name is Bix,
Yeah.
is very pretty.
Oh my gosh.
She brought it up several times.
She's so pretty. Let me get the actress's name.
And
She's
as
so
everyone
pretty.
knows, a woman's value and an actress's value is determined exclusively by her level of prettiness.
Level of prettiness. I'm gonna butcher it. Adria Arjona.
Yes.
So she's from Puerto Rico, and I love her. And every time she's on screen, I am just like very fixed on what she's doing. But that's also a testament to her acting. I feel like on Obi-Wan, all the women, even the one with the job, like the one that worked for the rebels, was annoying or boring.
Yeah. Again, like I guess she's Andor's friend.
Yeah.
She's like,
It seems like an
a
ex.
mechanic of some kind.
Yeah.
He's trying to sell some sort of illegal
And
empire part to her.
she's got a connection. And it seems like they've worked together. I think they're
She's got
exes.
a jealous boyfriend.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but like she barely does anything, and I find her
Yet.
interesting.
I don't know what it is because like we don't know much about the character, but like whenever she's on screen, and it's not just because she's pretty. It was a joke, everybody.
For me.
Yeah, she just like feels like, okay, this is his friend. Like I understand what her motivations are. Like she wants to help him, but like it's like, you know, she doesn't get in trouble, and like it's hard to do what like when they're arguing back and forth. Her boyfriend, her jealous boyfriend, the one who eventually rats him out to the
corporation.
To the
whoever it
corporation.
is.
Like that feels like something a jealous boyfriend would do. And that kind of like kickstarts what's going on. All right, now can we talk about her name and why I'm a dumb person?
Yeah, Bix.
Okay, so her name is Bix, right? I kept hearing Biggs. Like Biggs, Biggs.
Well, David.
And I'm like, oh, awesome.
Jason.
That must be not Jason Biggs.
Jason.
Who's Jason Biggs?
He's in American Pie.
Oh, and he's the annoying boyfriend in Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
He sucks. I don't really like American Pie, I'm be honest. I was also really young when I saw
I
it.
think you should rewatch it.
I probably should.
It's a
Because of, what's the guy with the eyebrows?
Oh, Eugene Levy.
Eugene Levy. Like,
Yeah.
he like those are his things, right?
I don't know.
He's not just whatever. Okay. I was like, oh, cool. A character named Biggs. That must be a Final Fantasy reference because every Final Fantasy game has a Biggs and a Wedge. And I was like, wait a second, you big stupid moron. They stole that from Star Wars. Star Wars has a Biggs and a Wedge. Then I was like, cool. It's a Star Wars reference. And then I'm like, wait a second, you idiot. You're watching Star Wars. Why would they name her Biggs? So I was confused the whole time. But Toby says her name is
Bix.
Bix. Please don't name characters that sound like other characters. People in Star Wars. Can you show me how her name is spelled? Is it B-I-X?
B-I-X.
Bix. Her name is Bix.
Bix.
If she has a friend named like Wooj, Biggs and Wooj,
No.
I'm like, ah. So yeah, I'm a big dumb idiot. The end.
The end.
That's all I have to say about that. Okay. Can we talk about what is our favorite thing about this show so far?
Yes.
Is that even the little side characters have like all this personality and charm that they don't need to have. And it feels like the director was like, go, like, just do what you want.
Right.
And just the Bells guy. Go ahead, Tobes. Tell us about the Bells guy.
Bells guy. Here he is getting ready. Doing the bells. Just like he takes a breath because he knows how important his job is.
He's like
and he
the time,
takes it
you know,
so
the church
seriously. Right. Or you have that great conversation between Andor and his friend where he's like, here's my cover story. And his friend's like, I'm going to one up your cover story. This is also
bells.
what happened.
Or even the ticket guy. He's going to get like to buy a ticket off World. And the conversation
between
he's
him
having,
and that alien, right? Or and then him. So good. Even and like one of my favorite parts.
The robot. I like the robot.
The robot has a personality. It's not just like beeping. It
I was
has
like, he has like a little stutter. It's kind of cute.
Yeah, it's because he's so old.
Yeah.
And like I love how natural these characters are. I think one of my favorite parts was in that last episode. Excuse me. Where they're the corporation is coming, whatever, and they all sound the alarm, and they're like, everybody is just
sounding these alarms.
Is sounding these alarms to like let people know that something, like let Andor know something's happening.
Surprisingly, the bell guy wasn't sounding that alarm, or was he already up there?
No, Bell Guy. He's got a lot to do. He can't be up.
Is Twitter liking Bell Guy?
I have to tell you, I did not look up Andor on Twitter yet.
You should, because I feel like, as much as a lot of the side characters have these little quirks,
Yeah,
I think Bell Guy is the top. Because Bell Guy does not need to have.
They
quirks.
they didn't even need to show Bell
quirks.
Guy.
They
You
never
just
show
play
Bell Guy.
bells.
He just has his little earmuffs on, and he's playing the bells.
Like, it's just like a fun thing that this show does that like I haven't seen. Is Obi-Wan the only Star Wars show so far that's on
Mandalorian, Obi-Wan,
and even with Mandalorian,
Boba Fett, we
didn't finish. And I think Mandalorian is a very different. So my biggest difference between this and Mandalorian and Obi-Wan is this has a lot of action going on. Like,
yeah, Obi-Wan was. I'm not.
No, I don't mean like
Mandalorian was slower paced. I think.
I don't mean action. I mean the set is busy. So there's always something happening in the background for the most part, right? Like if you're at
I have to stop you there because that is something that people criticize the prequels for. Because that is something, if you watch the behind the scenes of episode one of the producers is like, it's so dense. There's so much happening in every frame. There's just so much stuff. So that's the thing that people criticize the prequels for.
For this, though.
But for this, it's just like,
it's
that
natural.
should be bad.
They're at a marketplace. You're going to have a lot happening.
It feels real.
It feels real. In Mandalorian, it feels real to have less because you're following one person.
And a baby.
And in Obi-Wan, it was like boring.
Yeah.
Having not a lot going on because what characters do we even care about?
I think the mistake that the prequels made when it comes to all the busyness, and even like episode 2 of Obi-Wan where he's in that city, is that a lot of that was obviously CGI and it felt fake.
Maybe.
Where a lot of this, I don't know if they're filming on the volume. It doesn't feel like they're filming on the volume.
It feels like a set.
It feels like a real set with the stuff that's going on in the background is real people doing things.
Right.
It's not CGI characters doing things. So to our brains, it feels real, which is like, we've said it 100 times this episode. It just makes this feel more real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So hats off to that. Very much enjoying the characters and all of like, even they do like little things. Like even so in that last episode when Bix's boyfriend got shot.
Who she just broke up with.
She didn't break up with him. She said, how could you do that?
Well, because he like ratted out her friend. But like they just had an argument.
Right. They just had an argument.
But even still.
And he goes over to save her. But I'm talking about then the officer or the corporation people, right? The guy shot him and you could tell the officer was like, what did you do? Like, you need to leave.
And he didn't want to. She kept telling him, like, please go away. Like, I don't want to, like, back up.
And when the guy did, he's like, give me your gun. You got to go back to the ship. Like,
they're not just evil mustache twirling.
Exactly.
Yeah. And she reacted like he got shot.
Right.
And like, even though they just broke up, she wasn't like good. She's like, oh no.
It's just like every character is important.
Let's say it again. Oh, sorry.
Real.
Every character feels real.
But also, like, I feel like that part of it makes everybody important. You know, like.
Yeah.
Like seeing all these little parts makes you, like, even that one guy talking to Stellan Skarsgård on the train.
I forgot Stellan Skarsgård.
You did?
He's good in everything.
Guys, he's still running. I don't know how old he is.
I was like, did they get a stunt double for him to run?
I feel like he was in the first
I'm going to
Thor.
add a bullet. I'm going to add another bullet.
Okay, is it Stellan Skarsgård?
Stellan Skarsgård's in this, so
why don't we just talk about it now? So
Daddy
good.
Skarsgård. I mean, how do you spell Skarsgård?
That's wrong. It's a K. But
is in this, so it is good. Maybe the reason why people didn't like Thor: Love and Thunder so much is because he's only in it for like a second.
He's barely in it.
Barely in it.
I bet if there was more Stellan Skarsgård, I bet if we also brought Alex and Bill, his sons.
Yeah, leave him out. I was a fan of True Blood until what's his face turned into like a blood monster.
Yeah, but that had nothing to do with Alex Skarsgård.
Yeah, but he's like, he's like very attractive. We got to watch that movie where he's muscles.
Oh, where
Viking
he's like,
movie?
Yeah, I bet that's great.
I heard it's a very good movie.
I wish Stellan Skarsgård was the main guy.
Oh god, just his gut, just his big gut, being old. Yeah, his son is a lot better looking than him, but like he is much more. Like whenever scene Stellan Skarsgård is in, he just like it's because of his voice.
Yeah,
he just kind of steals the whole scene.
Skellen
I'm saying
Skarsgård.
Skarsgård. I
He
can't.
steals the
He
scene.
steals the scene. He steals the scene.
Oh, so good.
And it's not like he's like chewing the scenery and like
No,
being
but
overly.
you're like hanging on
you're
to
like,
his word. Like at the end,
I always put the bombs on the door. And you're like, ooh.
right? He's like, rule number 1. Gino's like, what are the other
I wanna know
rules?
the other rule. So yes, I'm adding that.
Is it Skellen or Stellan? Have we just been calling him
Jack
the wrong name?
Skellington. Skellen Skarsgård is in this, so it's good. I think we could have just started the episode and ended the episode.
It's Stellan.
Ooh, we said Skellen the whole time. Someone is yelling at their.
Someone's like,
car right
it's
now.
Stellan.
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 Stellan Skarsgård is in this, so it's good. That's all you got to know, everybody. All right, here's the other bullets. Ready? Great music. And I say this with all due respect to John Williams. I think Toby and I have made it very clear, both to ourselves and to each other, that we are big fans of John Williams. Toby had not even seen Indiana Jones and wanted our wedding song, the song we came out to be the Indiana Jones theme.
That's the song that
which
plays.
I had to veto. I was like, that's too nerdy even for me.
However, it's because it's the song. When I go on a mission, when I'm doing something, that's what's
What
playing.
missions do you go on?
Just like walking to do, like going on a job interview. Like that's the song that pumps me up. Dun, dun, dun,
What about
dun.
the gym? Is that what you?
Nah, the gym.
no?
I play like I don't know, something sad.
Violins? Sad. What do you mean sad?
I hate the gym.
Oh, 'cause
I
you're
don't go
upset?
to the gym.
I play the song that you don't know this. When Goku went Super Saiyan 3, and I'm like, yeah.
I've probably
let's play
heard it
that.
because you play the weirdest songs.
Screw you, Toby. It's good. So, with all due respect to John Williams, I appreciate this music because it doesn't sound like typical Star Wars music.
Yeah, this isn't a slight against that because even The Mandalorian had a great soundtrack. The wee-da-wee, like
Yes.
like Obi-Wan didn't have anything.
Well, because Obi-Wan was like dumb Jedi stuff. So it
You
has to
guys-
sound like Star Wars.
Right, which was this like Mandalorian had a great soundtrack, and this music I'm like into. It helps me get into the scene.
I think if you've ever played the Mass Effect games, talking to every normal person out there who likes video games,
Millie.
if you've played the Mass Effect games and you appreciate the Mass Effect soundtrack, then you will appreciate this. There's a lot more like techno sounds to it, a lot more synthesizers. They will mix in like an orchestra every now and again when there's like a bad stuff happening, but there's a lot more synth, and I appreciate that. Because it just makes it sound different and it makes it sound more sci-fi. And I like sci-fi. So I like this.
Yeah, it's good.
You guys hate John Williams. You hate Star Wars.
I hope nobody says that. Really do love John Williams. Jurassic Park is one of my favorite
Okay, next
soundtracks,
bullet.
too.
Aunt Petunia's in this, and that's awesome.
Who do you think said that, you guys?
Not me. I didn't recognize her.
Me. I recognized her, but I had to look her up to see who it was because she's such a good character.
She doesn't cry. She doesn't, yeah.
You guys, and I just keep thinking like, man, Aunt Petunia could have been so nice to Harry because she cares so much.
Andor, this kid she picked up from a planet somewhere. I guess it's a similar situation, right? She's taking care of a kid that's not hers.
Yeah, but this one she liked.
And
Harry she freaking hated.
And like, what's crazy is, so like you, by the end of episode 3, you truly understand that she really cares for him, which is funny because the what they show them doing the whole time is arguing, right? Like their only scene together is the two of them arguing because he got caught.
He's making bad choices.
But through the flashbacks and like how she's reacting to when the corporation's looking for him and how she talks to them and the little single tear that goes down her eye, you really get the idea that she did care for him. Like she does like him.
She cares, yeah.
And they show it. They don't tell it. They're not like, I care for you, Andor. When I took you on that planet, I raised you from a
Well, I guess
from a blah blah blah. I taught you
Cassian.
English.
We should call him Cassian, I guess.
I care for you, Andor.
Cassian
Andor.
Yeah.
No, they show it.
Yeah.
She does a cry.
Right.
When she takes him on the ship and he looks really nervous. She turns around and gives him like a
looks at him.
reassuring smile.
Right, like you're safe.
And then she's like, "Get back in the cupboard." Ah.
I haven't seen her in a lot of movies or a lot of TV shows.
Because you're not British.
I watch a decent amount of British
Do you watch
shows.
Downton? I guarantee you she's on like
I don't know.
several episodes of Downton.
I'll have to look. Generally, people usually make an appearance on Doctor Who.
Oh, there's certainly. Is she the lady with his all skin? She's like the
No,
last
that's
human
not
ever.
her. She's in something else, though. I think she's in a different Harry Potter movie.
What do you mean she's in a different? She plays a different character.
Oh,
in Harry
no,
Potter?
she's American, isn't she? The one with the skin face?
She's the last human on existence.
Yeah, this is the one of the episodes.
The one
Gino's
episode I
seen.
watched. Well, I watched season 9 of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Or the Ninth Doctor.
But anyway, it's just she's such a good actress.
Can we say it again? Her character feels real.
Real.
Because the way she reacts is real.
Real. Okay, next bullet.
Characters feel real. That was the last bullet.
Oh no!
And I think I
wrote
spelled
down.
feel wrong. No, I spelled it right.
No, you spelled it right.
God, I guess that's it, everybody. The show's good because the characters feel real. Like, they're not funny. They're not, aside from like some of the corporate people, they're a little goofy. But like, we typically like funny, goofy, improv-y kind of characters. They're not that at all. So if that's what you're looking for, that's not this. But they're just feel like real people, how they would react.
It feels like a good sci-fi show.
Yeah.
So like if you like elements of Star Wars, like this is a show for you. If you're married to someone who likes Star Wars, you'll also probably like this show.
If you like the prequels, stop. But I don't think you would like this show.
Okay.
I have to go back and watch Rogue One because there's a lot of people who like Rogue One, and I don't remember being one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I saw Rogue One in theaters, I think, and being like, that was fine. I was a 6 out of 10. I didn't really like it. And I really like this, and I should go back and watch Rogue One. So I cannot guarantee that if you liked Rogue One, you will like this.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, am I surprised with how much I like this. Yeah, damn. High five? Sorry,
That's a good
Millie.
one.
She got upset.
Oh.
Yeah, go watch it, I guess. Yeah, why? I would like, ugh.
Yeah, no, don't be
Stupid
disgusted.
random Star Wars show, and we like
Such
love
a
it.
random Star Wars. Exactly, because like Boba Fett was super hyped, and I haven't heard anything about
Yeah,
this.
because people thought they wanted a Boba Fett show, but they did not want a Boba Fett show.
No, and also, like, I don't know.
Boba Fett was cool when you didn't know anything about him, when he was just a guy with clicky boots that sounded
Right.
like cowboy boots that like stood next to Darth Vader.
Okay, no, this is good. All right, you ready?
No. I want to talk more about how characters feel real.
I think we
Okay, do we feel real? Are we
I'm
real?
still here. Oh,
Okay,
thank
bye.
you so much.
No, not yet.
Well,
You have to do
that's it. I can't see my stuff. Thank you for listening to For Better or Worse. If you like what you heard and want to know more, visit our website for betterorworse.buzzsprout.com and subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever you use so you never miss an episode. Like and subscribe to our show on YouTube so you can see what we look like and watch our cat. She was in it a lot today. To let us know what you think, comment and leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts.
Ooh, we got a bad comment today.
What was it?
I forgot what episode it was on, but he's like, 2 thick idiots not getting 2 shows. I was like, ooh.
What were they? What were the shows
I have to
about?
look back at the comment.
I bet we were right.
Oh, yeah, please. We're always right.
Thick.
Thick. I think he's probably British. Villain. He's a
Thick.
villain. Like,
2 thick idiots.
there we go. Yep, exactly.
I got it. Here, I'll do the rest of it in a British accent and offend him. See you next time
I'm sure he's really offended.
when we review more movies and TV.
Bye. I got to make dinner. I'm making chicken Alfredo.
Delicious.
I'm not cutting this out. And bye.